Hello everyone, my name is Steven Dutzman. I am the editor-in-chief of EngageFamilyGaming.com. I'm also the host of Engage, a family gaming podcast, and the host of this here EFG Evening News Update. This is the update for June 23rd, 2016. Not a lot of news happened today because it's, well, the week after E3 and just about everything was announced last week. So, wanted to talk about a few things. Number one, two super relevant anniversaries today. First off being the Nintendo 64, and the other being the 25th anniversary of the release of Sonic the Hedgehog. Both obviously very different things. Sonic the Hedgehog is noted for being the premier mascot for Sega, and the Nintendo 64 was a home console made by Nintendo, their competitor. Number one, if you are someone that is actually interested in the origin of Sonic the Hedgehog and the role that character played in the console war between Nintendo and Sega, there's a book. It's called Console Wars. It's actually being made into a movie. I highly recommend that you take a look at it. It's available on Amazon. It's like $17 at this point or something. It's a very thick book, but it goes into great detail about the origin of the Sega Genesis and its competition, the Super Nintendo, and the way those companies battled each other. If you ever heard the phrase Sega does what Nintendo don't, which was obviously a killer phrase from a marketing perspective back then, then this is, if that resonates with you, if you want to know where that came from and what their thought process was, go read this book. It's called Console Wars. And Sonic was designed pretty much to be the anti-Mario. They wanted someone with attitude. They wanted someone that was edgy. They wanted him to be impatient, and so it's interesting that he's been around as long as he has, that he's still an icon. It'd be nice if they would actually make a Sonic the Hedgehog game that was actually good. There are some who believe that they never made a Sonic the Hedgehog game that was ever good. I don't weigh in on those types of things because I really don't want people to burn down my house, as some old school console fans are wont to do. So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog, happy birthday. The Nintendo 64, now that was an interesting era in time. This is when, right around the time that Sony was creating the PlayStation, which was a whole new competitor to the video game space. And Nintendo, instead of opting for discs like the PlayStation, they stuck with cartridges, and it ended up biting them in the butt because they lost Final Fantasy. They lost a lot of games that you would have had to put Final Fantasy on like 6 cartridges or something crazy like that. And that would have been too much to produce. Their games were more expensive. Now, some of the games released on the Nintendo 64 are legendary. Super Mario 64 is arguably one of the best 3D platformers of all time. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, two of arguably the best Legend of Zelda games ever made. And they kind of ushered in the vocabulary that we going for Zelda games ever since then. Really. Yeah, you're right. Goldeneye 2. I was going to get there. Only now with Breath of the Wild are we starting to see Legend of Zelda kind of move away from some of the standard vocabulary given to us by Ocarina of Time. Now, who can really talk about the Nintendo 64 without talking about Goldeneye? The Nintendo 64 came out years before I was in college, and I still remember dudes in their dorm room, Goldeneye tournaments, on the regular, and man, some of these people were skilled. I remember some of my best friends from high school. I would go away for a summer, I'd come home from camp, and they had just mastered this game on this bizarre level. I'm a 35-year-old man. There are not many men my age that were participating in video games that don't have very specific memories of Goldeneye. I think that game just kind of captured a generation. And you know what? It also provided a lot of the kind of vocabulary, if you will, that has carried on into other shooters. I don't want to say that it is responsible for Call of Duty. That's insane. But there are a lot of guys that's their gaming. They play Call of Duty. A lot of those people will remember GoldenEye from back in the day. So happy birthday to the Nintendo 64. A rather maligned system. The controller was really weird. I still have mine. It's behind me. And I still hook it up every once in a while just so I can play some Mario Kart with my kids or to show them some of these new games. I mean, Banjo-Kazooie, which Ukulele is being made by the same team, and that's coming out soon. So, great games. I saw that pop up on my feeds today, and I said, man, I've got to talk about the Nintendo 64 and Sonic the Hedgehog. So, on to news. There's one pretty significant piece of news, and that is today starts the Steam Summer Sale. So, if you have a computer that it was made within the last handful of years, and you enjoy playing games, I highly recommend that you set up an account on Steam if you do not already have one. You can get that by going to Steam Power. Just Google Steam Store. I think it's store at .steampowered.net, something like that. Let's find it. It is... Here we go. Store.steampowered.com. Now, Steam is owned by Valve. It is a massive video game, computer game platform. It is, and 2 or 3 times a year they put out a massive sale. And one of those sales actually started today. What's up, Steve? So, some highlights for games that are on sale today. The biggest one is a game called Stardew Valley. And I actually just dove in today, and that may or may not be why the evening news update is a little bit late. Don't get too mad at me. So that game is on, I think it's about 20% off right now. It's like $12 today. Normally it's about $16. What that is it's essentially a cross between like Animal Crossing and why can't I remember the name of this game? So it's like Animal Crossing crossed with the farming game Harvest Moon. So with a dating sim built into it. But what's really interesting about this, and why I recommend that a lot of people should play it, especially if you have an interest in game design, is this was made by one person. One. When you start seeing this game and seeing all the systems layered on each other and all the different... I mean, it's a simplistic looking game, but there is a lot going on under the hood. And the fact that it was made by one person is very impressive. It's also one of the big surprise hits of 2016. I expect that it'll be on a number of Game of the Year lists, and it's not very often that you can get a Game of the Year contender for under $15 and on sale. Also, in honor of the anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog, the Sonic franchise is on sale. Now, admittedly, it is somewhat expensive. It's about $57. However, it includes 18 items, most of which are games. So it's pretty much every Sonic game from the past, including Sonic Lost World, which was previously a Wii U exclusive. And now here it is released on PC. If you are a Sonic fan, definitely worth looking into. Also, if you don't want to buy the whole thing, all the games are on sale 50% off too. So for example, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 is $2.50, to give you an example. So if you just want to taste, maybe you want to show your kids what you had played in the past, what you had liked, Sonic the Hedgehog is $2.50. In fact, the original 3 that were on Sega Genesis are all $2.50. That's downright stealing, really. So, some of the other featured game. I mean, there are some that are mainly just for adults. Most of the Lego games that are on Steam are on sale between 30 and 75%, so that's worth looking into. NBA 2K16 is 80% off, so it's $12 for NBA 2K16. Just to give you an example. So we'll talk about this more, tomorrow, and because every day around noon, new sales come up, and so we'll talk about what the I'll go through at night, and we'll talk about what the reasonable family-friendly games that are on sale are on that day. And what's neat is, even if you miss a day, at the very end, most of the games that were on sale are on sale again. And it's not like this is something that you have to do right away. They very rarely do, it's not like there's a limited number of these games on sale. So you can check it at night and see if a game that you wanted is on sale. So that's the news for today. Summer Steam sale, that's a very big deal. Right now there's the NBA draft going on, although that doesn't really have much of an impact on us. Unless you're a basketball fan, at which point, rock on, right? So that is the evening news update for June 23rd, 2016. I will see everybody tomorrow night. At which point it will be Friday, so we will try and wrap the week up a little bit. Until then, hope everybody has a great night. Play some games. Maybe play some Stardew Valley if you happen to pick that up on Steam for your $12. Until then, hope you guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.